Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches. It is really, truly an honor to be here tonight with all of you. It means so much. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this project. And more importantly, thank you for being part of this dream and this legacy for our community. Tonight, I have the wonderful pleasure of introducing you and having a conversation with a gran maestro, Antonio Martorell. I'm going to read you a very short bio of Antonio Martorell. But if I would read everything that Maestro Martorell has done, we'll probably be here till tomorrow morning.
I will get tired.
No, we will never get tired of you. But definitely, Maestro Martorell is one of the most prolific artists in Puerto Rico and globally, and really well respected and international renowned. So, el Maestro Antonio Martorell has given himself the pleasure of drawing, painting, recording, writing, doing theater, radio, television, film, dance, environmental installations, and structures. He is a scholar. His work has been exhibited and awarded in Puerto Rico and globally, and can be found in private and public collections. Among them, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, MoMA, the Whitney Museum in New York also, the New York Historical Society, el Museo del Barrio en Nueva York, the Library of Congress, and the National Portrait Gallery and Latino Art Collection of the Smithsonian, all in Washington, D.C., Princeton University Library, the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture in Chicago, the Block Museum of Art, the Northwestern University Library, the Francis Lehman Loeb Art Center in New York, the Museum of Modern Art in Mexico, the Casa of the Americas in Cuba, the Ponce Museum of Art, the Institute of Puerto Rican Culture, the Museo de la Yawkey en Río Piedras and Calle, la Casa del Libro, Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico, Museo de Arte Contemporáneo de Puerto Rico, and so on. And now, we have the wonderful pleasure of having the inaugural exhibit at La Casa by Maestro Antonio Martorell. Thank you, Maestro. Maestro Martorell is a member of the Puerto Rican Academy of the Spanish Language and the author of multiple books. He has participated and/or produced several films and documentaries, and is the subject of the award-winning documentary film El Accidente Feliz, The Happy Accident, by Puerto Rican director Paloma Suau. He has been recognized many times, including at the National Puerto Rican Parade in New York in 2023 and also in 2023. He was bestowed with the National Medal of Arts by President Joe Biden. Thank you for being here, Maestro Martorell. It's truly an honor not only to have you here, but also to be our inaugural artist and also to be working with our community in the residency. So I want to ask you so many questions, and we have so little time. So this would be like a little sample of the great work that you do, of your intellect, and your connection to community, which is so important for us as the work that Eva does and that we will continue to do here in La Casa. So let me ask you first, if we imagine your life and work as a canvas, what colors are most present in it today, And what are they telling us?
I didn't understand.
Okay, si nos imaginamos su vida hoy día como un canvas de arte, ¿cuáles son los colores más predominantes y qué nos dicen?
Colores tierra, sand, mud, dark, rich colors, like the ones I grew up near them and that I always go back to them, to the land, to see germination and blooming. I love those colors. And then when things grow, they go green and they go red and pink and yellow and all the colors of the rainbow. That's a joy, seeing it sprout and bloom.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're so honored to have you be our inaugural artist at La Galería here at La Casa. And this exhibit that we're hosting, as part of many of exhibits, he's very prolific, as you heard. The name of this exhibit is Entre Telas. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us what those entre telas mean, what message it's bringing, and what was the inspiration for it?
First, let me stand up because I speak better standing up. My voice comes from somewhere very deep inside me.
Uh-huh.
And, well, it's called Entre Telas, and I cannot deny my roots. My mother was a seamstress. My grandfather was a carpenter. So cloth, garments, wood, furniture, construction, they all blend together into a magic world. So I decided to paint not only on canvas, but on different kinds of fabrics, be it velvet, linen, rugs, because rugs are wonderful, because you realize that most people look just up in front. They seldom look down unless they are afraid to stumble and fall. So I've been fascinated with rugs all my life. As a young child, I would read The 1001 Nights and The Flying Carpets, and I always feel that you can see marvels if you look down and you study the ground or the tiles or the rocks that you step on. And anytime they can take you far away and really become somebody else and understand other worlds, other people, and knowing that you're not alone and that it's a big, big world and you can relate to it all.
Very good. Thank you so much. And, you know, it's been amazing, and I want to thank our curator, Ashley Martinez, who's here tonight and has been working with you from afar in preparing the exhibit alongside our Director of Arts, Nadine Martinez, who's also here tonight. But when you came on Saturday morning, and you looked at it, and then this week, Maestro Martorell has been engaged in a 1-week-long residency with our residents of Villa Victoria. So tell us a little bit about that, you know, when you came and saw the exhibit and working with the super adults, as you call them.
Well, it's been great. It's been great. I call that workshop a super workshop for super adults. And I relate to them instantly because I am a super adult myself. So I know the language, I know the needs, I know the talents, and I also know that most super adults are relegated. They are kind of left out. This society doesn't consider super adults in their superiority, which they do have, because the older you get, the more you know, the more you sharpen your tools, and unfortunately, our society doesn't make the most of it. And when I give this workshop, I find out always something that I already know, that people in their later years have so much to give. And all you have to do is give them the opportunity to speak out, to work, to paint, to say anything that's valuable, because it's a whole lifetime behind them. And that's very valuable. And we must make something of it.
Maestro, your art workshop is located in La Playa de Ponce, in Ponce Beach, right? And for those of us who are familiar with Puerto Rico, La Playa de Ponce has been an area that has been economically underserved and disinvested by the government, both local and statewide, and has suffered from, the challenges and aftermath of that disinvestment. Why did you choose La Playa de Ponce to establish your space and workshop? And can you tell us a little bit about how arts transformed communities?
Well, it was per chance. I went to Ponce to hang a show at the Museo de Arte de Ponce, which is one of the main museums in the Caribbean. And I needed a large space in order to do some very large drawings of La Ceiba de Ponce. And I rented the place. And it suited so much my needs that I kept it for 3 years. And then the owner, who happened to be a carpenter, he rented half the shop to me. I said, yes, I want it. And I bought it. And I've been there for the last 30-some years, and it's the best years of my life. It's the space, the people are wonderful. The people are like the people in Santurce when I was growing up back in the 40s and 50s of the last century. And we have become integrated to the community, and you can look it up in YouTube. We have about 4 videos that we did, my friends and I, and at this time, I must point out something I should have said before. Like my show here, La Casa, is signed Antonio Martorell y sus amigos. Antonio Martorell and friends. I work in a collective. I have always worked in collectives because my training was in a workshop. The graphic workshop of the Institute of Puerto Rican Culture in San Juan, with maestros Lorenzo Omar and Rafael Tufino. And that's the way I was trained. And I was a late bloomer, believe me. I was already 22 years old. I had gone to 3 universities, Georgetown University in Washington, University of Puerto Rico in Rio Piedras, Universidad Central de Madrid in Spain. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was still searching and very unhappy with my initial vocation, which was my only actual degree that I got in college was from Georgetown University School of Foreign Service. I'm a diplomat by career, but I'm so happy I never worked for no government. No. I am my own ambassador. And I think I relate to people, and I can, in a way, represent them wherever I go, because our needs are pretty much the same. It's not making peace, it's keeping it, cherishing it, and fostering it. And art is a magnificent way of doing it. So we have worked collectively in La Playa. We have shared the fortunes and misfortunes that befall Puerto Rico and the world. We're no stranger to any of that. And it's worked wonderfully. That brings me here. But this is not the first time I come to Boston.
Tell us a little bit about your history with Boston and Eva and Villa Victoria.
Oh, it's a long story. I'll make it short. I came first to Boston in the mid-90s, and I came to Eva. I came to Eva because my partner in theatrical crimes, Rosa Luisa Marquez, and myself were invited by MIT to do some theater work, and we came to the church, and we did a show there, Son Corazón, and then it was wonderful. Coming into Plaza Betances in the middle of the winter, it was a very cold January. It was and having those pasteles and sancocho over there, that brought us back to life. And then I came back. 2007 as a guest of Harvard University, doing a residency there, and I came back to Eva. And I did some workshops here, and I brought some of the art students from Eva to Harvard, and we did some wonderful work. But before I even knew about Eva, many Puerto Ricans came and worked with this community, this marvelous community that has achieved now this great place and all the work you're doing. And I remember like Mirna Vázquez, Jorge Arce, Miguel Ángel Suárez, Luisa Ponte Paredes, Jorge Hernández, Victoria Muñoz, the daughter of Governor Muñoz, was here very early on. She was one of the main activists. So this is a long story. I'm just one of many. And I just had the privilege of coming back today, this whole week, and been working with these super adults doing super art.
Yeah. And I have to say, I stopped by one of the workshops in which the residents are doing the artwork under your tutelage. And it was really, truly amazing to see. And the pride, the joy, the sense of community that they were expressing, and some of them didn't notice that I even walked into the room because they were so engaged, and and the few that I was able to grab their attention as, how you doing, how you feeling, what do you think about it, how you like it, da 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 da.
We have to shoot them away at the end of the
at the end, we have to kick them out because the youth are coming. the next round. Yeah, I know. But what I saw yesterday when I walked into that room was a true sense of community and joy and pride. And like I've said this to a few people already tonight, but like we say in buen puertorriqueño, in Puerto Rican Spanish, estaban lucidos. But in a good way, they were beaming with pride and joy, and they were like, we're artists now. And it was really, truly amazing to watch and to witness that. So thank you for that. A few more questions. I have a bunch of questions, but I'm going to narrow it down because we have to wrap up the night. But you have traveled so much. You have done work internationally, and you have done a lot of work with Puerto Rican communities in the diaspora. You have witnessed the struggles and the evolution of our people in the continental U.S., in cities such as Chicago, New York, Boston, San Antonio, and now Orlando, Hartford, Western Mass, so many. Orlando. So what experiences or impressions have you seen in terms of this movement? There are more Puerto Ricans here in continental U.S., 5 million versus 3 million, about 3 million on the island. What can you tell us? What have you seen in these communities? What's similar? What's different?
Well, for one thing, resiliency and getting help to each other and to establish your identity in a fraternal approach to others. We have learned to affirm ourselves while sharing with other minorities and fighting together to get what we deserve, which is decent, affordable living, education, and health. And that is common to all the communities where I have lived and taught and learned, because you think of teaching art. Teaching art is learning art. Art is not stable. It's not something that is done. Art is a process of growing. Art is just like any other facet of life. You learn doing. You do what you don't know how to do, and you let your imagination lead you, and more heads and more hearts and more hands together can create a different world. And I've seen that and been part of that everywhere, and that's a joy. That's what keeps us going. I mean, for me, there's no future. The future is always now, and we're doing it now, not waiting for the future, doing it.
Yes. The future is tonight. Tonight is the future. La CASA is the future, and tonight is the future. So yeah, thank you. I couldn't agree more with that. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to ask you two more questions. The first one is going to be very hard. Because I'm going to ask you to choose from one of your children. And I know, because that would be I couldn't answer that question, so I'm being a little bit unfair to you. But from this exhibit, Entre Telas, of all those beautiful pieces up on the second floor of La Casa, which one's your favorite and why?
That's very hard to answer.
I know. I
Sometimes they
preface
make
that.
even a harder question. They say, of all the work you've done all through your life, which is the one you cherish the most? And I always have the same answer. None of them. It's the one that I'm about to do, the one that I dream of, the one that doesn't have any blemish, the one that is perfect because it's not yet done.
Okay. Shall we take that for an answer? Yes, we will.
But I must obey your question and answer. Of the ones that I have here, there is one that is not only my favorite, but is the favorite of all the visitors here and everywhere. The portrait of Maria Civico. It's a woman that was born enslaved. She obtained her freedom in 1873 with the abolition of slavery in Puerto Rico, and she became a great seamstress and fashion designer, so much so that she was selected by a very wealthy lady in Mayagüez and took her to Paris at the beginning of the 20th century so that she could perfect her trade. She came back and she was famous all over the island, but she was totally forgotten because she was black. And it took the descendants of Maria Civico and some historians and the musicians to put this story together, and they rescued an old school named after a U.S. military commander, and they took one room and made the room of Maria Civico, and it's there. And when I read her story and saw her face, I couldn't resist her. I had to paint her. And so she's here. You can see her. And most important, she's going to see you because she has a hypnotic gaze that sees right through you. And it's so wonderful.
Yes, it's a beautiful piece. And the way it's curated here, where it's located, every time I come down or up the stairs, and even if I'm just walking through the second floor, but especially when I'm walking into the second floor and looking at her through the glass of the door to come into the second floor, her eyes are piercing. She's looking at you, and she's talking to you through that gaze. So thank you for that, Maestro Martorell.
She's asking you questions, and you don't know the answers.
Yes, absolutely. It's an amazing piece. Thank you. So my last question. If you could leave us with one image, one phrase, or one small spark of wisdom to carry home tonight, what would that be? An image, a phrase?
Work. I love that verb, work. But then I must confess, I am very lucky. I am an artist, and I never look at the watch. Actually, I don't wear one, to see what time I can go home. I keep on working, and sometimes I'm hungry, and I don't know that I'm hungry because I'm so enthralled with the work. And sometimes I feel like tight. I feel like this, and I say, what's happening to me? I have to go to the bathroom, and I haven't noticed. Well, I know I have this great advantage of doing work that I love and that is loved by others. But I believe that anyone, not only artists, in any trade or profession, any walk of life, if you love what you do, and if you do it at the best of your capacity, and even a bit more, you're a happy person, and you can make others happy. And that's a blessing.
Wonderful. Maestro Martorell, I want to say muchísimas gracias de todo corazón. I have followed you all my life since I was a young high school and college student in la UP, and I went to la UHS in Rio Piedra. Esa fue mi high school. And I have always admired your work and your, not only your work, but also your humility and your giving to communities and how you make sure that your work is really rooted in community. So I want to say, even though I have met you before, that this time feels different because this time we're really not only honoring you and your work at our gallery space, but also we're really honoring this space and this community with your amazing legacy and work. So muchísimas gracias de todo corazón. And you're welcome back anytime and many times.
You will regret saying that.
Vale.
I always come back.
Then un pinky. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Maestro Martorell, por favor.